Here we go. Uh, Here we go. Here we go. What's my weakness? Films. Uh, I was finally able to take a day off for movies, and all that did was make me want to take more days off, but I can't. I stay focused, stay on track. On the quest, the journey to watch 1,200 films in one calendar year. Here we go. Films 101 to 125. 101, Black Butterfly. Antonio Banderas plays a washed up writer whose wife leaves him and he lives out in the middle of nowhere, and then he befriends this drifter in a diner because he sticks up for him, so he picks up the drifter and takes him home and gives him a room, and then the drifter kind of weasels his way into Banderas' life and kind of turns into a real douche, and then it kind of seeds from there. It does have a real interesting twist ending, but then it had another extra 30 seconds at the very, very end that was so bad. It didn't kill it because it just, it's 99% good, this film, and then 1% bad. So I won't kill it for the last 30 seconds. But number 102, The Drownsman. All right, try to follow me. All right, this girl is having these weird visions of being drowned in weird ways, and then her friends are sick of dealing with it, so they have this fake summoning party to bring in the ghost that's doing all this to her, and they summon this real ghost called he used to be a person called the Drownsman. He used to drown all his victims. They summon him, and then the girl starts investigating the Drownsman history, and she learns that she has a connection to the Drownsman, and then blah 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 goes from there, and it's just okay. 103, The Bling Ring, based on a true story of these teenagers in LA who thought it would be cool to go to celebrities' houses when they're not there and rob them. They would monitor Facebook or whatever and say, "Oh, Paris Hilton's out of town this weekend. Let's go to her house and go through her stuff and take some of it." And they did this for a while. Orlando Bloom, list goes on and on. They kidnapped a lot of people. And none of these celebrities had really good security systems. One of them had one camera that caught them. Nobody else had real security systems. I bet that's changed now. But it's not a bad little movie. It's interesting. Number 104, Jigsaw. Hello, Michael. I like to play a game. Uh, I can see as long as Tobin Bell is alive and the writers can think of weird ways to kill people, this series will go on forever. This one's nothing super special. We learned Jigsaw has a nephew. Woo! Other than that, it's just another entry. Number 105, Street Kings. It's a very gritty police drama with Keanu Reeves and Forrest Whitaker. Keanu is this cop sending on these tough missions, and then he gets in trouble. Then he gets forced to do a desk job, but he's still got some unfinished business, so he's still kind of keeping at it on the side, trying to finish this one thing. And uh, yeah, it's okay. It's Chris Evans also appears as Captain America, but it's not bad. It's very dark. 106, The House. Will Ferrell and his wife set up a, well, they can't afford to send their kid to college, so they turn their house into a casino, a fully functional casino with lights and everything. And it's got a handful of funny moments, but overall, just an average entry. It's no Talladega Nights. It's no Anchorman. 107, Despicable Me 2. I wouldn't say this is better than the first one. It's not. He's got to stop an old nemesis named El Macho who is resurfaced and is running an undercover salsa restaurant. It's got a handful of cute moments, but just an average Pixar entry. 108 Minions. I thought this was an above average Pixar entry. I enjoyed this. The Minions need to find a new master, and they go to Villain Con in Orlando. I think it's interesting the Minions have been around for apparently millions of years, but they have common names like Kevin. 109 Hotel Transylvania 2. Uh, Dracula, his grandson. He's not discovered his monster side yet, so Dracula takes him and his buddies out, and then the grandson out in the woods so the grandson can discover his wild side and finally be who he is. Yeah, it's not bad. A cute little film. It's nice Pixar. 110, 10 years. This is Channing Tatum, Justin Long, Chris Pratt. It's about a 10-year reunion, and a group of friends all have their own things they're trying to do, and Chris Pratt's trying to make up with the nerds that he bullied, and Channing Tatum's trying to close the door with the girl he dated, and Justin Long's just trying to be as good as he can be because he's a successful businessman now, so he's kind of bragging. But I did not know Chris Pratt used to be a little chunky. He's a little large in this film, but he does a very good rendition of Lady in Red. I would look forward to that. But it's an okay film. Number 111, a very good movie called Against the Sun. Three fighter pilots crashed in the Pacific during World War II, and they've got a raft with no food, no water, and they got to get about 600 miles to this small chain of islands. So, yeah, they make do with what they got, and mighty. I can't believe a shark didn't bite them, but I can't name any actors in this movie, but it's a very good film. Yeah, 112 Jungle, not the Jungle Book, the Jungle, just Jungle, based on a true story set in the early '80s. Daniel Radcliffe stars, and his two pals get a guide to take them through the deep jungle. And they're looking for this lost Indian tribe, and of course things get bad because people start getting injured and they get lost, and so they break up. And then the Daniel Radcliffe and his one buddy he's going with, they get split up. So then goes missing for weeks and weeks, and his buddy refuses to quit looking for him. Interesting film. 113 Brawl in Cell Block 99. Vince Vaughn in a dramatic role. It's good to see him branching out. Uh, he gets sent to prison because he's running a drug trafficking thing, and then he gets a visitor who tells him you gotta kill a person or else will hurt your wife. So he has to go from minimum security to maximum security into the worst possible grouping. So he has to keep beating up people until he gets into this grouping. The problem with this movie, the fight scenes, I swear to God, are in slow motion, and not like purposely slow motion. They're fighting in slow motion. I think they were told to, and then they were told, we'll speed it up in post production. Just fight slow and keep it safe. And I think they forgot to speed it up because it looks bad. Other than that, very good movie. Number 114, Dead Birds, starred Henry Thomas of E.T. fame, and Michael Shannon, of course, in his fifth appearance on this countdown. Also had Isaiah Washington. It's a group of dirty Confederate soldiers, and they rob a bank, and they have to lay low in this house, and it turns out to be a haunted house. And the family that died there starts haunting them and messing with them, and things kind of go from there. It's actually a horror film with a satisfying ending, so I give it extra props for that. I don't want to give away too much because it's worth a watch. 115. This movie is not worth a watch. 115. The Presidio. 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 The Presidio. It's a very dull 80s Sean Connery movie. Co-stars Mark Harmon. The military guy, Sean Connery, and the cop, Mark Harmon, have to work together to solve a murder. Then during this, Mark Harmon starts dating Sean Connery's daughter, Meg Ryan. Who can resist super sexy Mark Harmon and his big tuffle of gray chest hair? Yeah, it's not a good film. 116. This was a viewer recommendation. This is Dead Man Down, starring Colin Farrell, Terrence Howard, and Stu Bennett, also known as pro wrestler Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett had about 4 lines in this movie, and they were all pretty basic, like, let's go get him, or there he is. So he didn't really add much to this, but he was there. It's about this guy getting payback on this gang that killed his family, so he infiltrates the group, starts killing them off. And of course, it's got to have a love story. That love story is so bad. Bad. Love story that's bad. I want you to have my lucky rabbit's food. Ugh. Ugh. Other than that, it's a fine film. 117, a very good movie, and my mother recommended this. War Horse, Steven Spielberg movie. This guy buys a horse, and he paid way too much for, and the son becomes enamored with the horse and starts training it and working with it and making it work for the family. And then the military comes in because it's wartime, of course, and they take the horse, and it switches owners several times, and yeah, the horse goes through some trials and tribulations. But yeah, but it's a very good film. Very long, though. 118. The Cloverfield Paradox. So I'm watching the Super Bowl, right, like everybody else, and I see this ad that there's a Cloverfield prequel right now on Netflix. So I think, why am I watching this stupid football game? There's a Clover prequel on Netflix. So I said, no, 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 no. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna savor it. I'm gonna wait till after work, get a nice big meal, sit down and watch this great Cloverfield movie. Boy, was I let down. Woo! So they're out in near space, just outside of the Earth's atmosphere. God, this movie sucks. Boy, woo! So they're, so they're out there near space and they're trying to get this thing going to make energy free so Earth isn't struggling. And then the Earth wasn't there and they went too far away or something. And they bring stuff back with them, and yeah. Then I got really mad when I found out this movie originally was not a Cloverfield prequel. They just added a little scene at the end and said, "Look, it's a Cloverfield prequel." What a dirty move, dirty. Skip this movie. 119, Haywire, another viewer recommendation. Decent action film. Ewan McGregor has this female hitman that works for him, and he tells her to team up with Michael Fassbender on this one last mission, and McGregor tells Fassbender kill the woman basically because she's used up her usefulness, I guess. So, but that doesn't quite work out. The woman gets mad, finds out her boss did this, and then starts coming after him. Yeah, this has been done before. It's a little John Wick. It's a little Point of No Return, I guess. Uh, Not bad though. 120. This was bad. Rupture. Peter Stormare, who I usually enjoy, in this very average to below average horror sci-fi entry. Peter Stormare is a doctor who kidnaps people and then makes them better. Yeah. So he kidnaps this woman, and she won't lay down, and she just tries to escape, and that's most of the film is her escaping this place. Yeah, yeah. 121. Where are we? Safe stars Julianne Moore, my favorite gal, and Xander Berkeley. If you don't know who Xander Berkeley is, great actor. You should find out who he is. Look him up. He was in the early seasons of 24, and then now he's in The Walking Dead, I believe. He's been in a billion films too. Great actor. Julianne Moore has all these health issues, but all the doctors say she's normal. But she gets worse and worse and worse, and her husband is supportive. Not sure if he really believes her, so he thinks she might be a little loony. But then she goes investigating to find out what's wrong with her. Not bad. Not a bad entry. 122 Sleepless. Not bad. Jimmy Fox is undercover cop trying to bring down a drug lord. His own people don't even know he's undercover. They kind of get in his way, and there's also dirty cops. And along the way, his kid gets kidnapped, and it kind of adds an extra twist to it. But yeah, it's okay. 123, Dying of the Light. Nicolas Cage uh, plays the CIA agent who was tortured years and years and years ago, and he's starting to suffer from dementia because he's getting older, and that's what happens, I guess. But the he always wanted to get this one terrorist, and the terrorist always eluded him, even though everyone told him the terrorist was dead. Nicolas Cage figured he wasn't. So during his dementia, he finds out that this terrorist is alive, and so he goes on one more case to go get this guy. But co-stars Anton Yelchin, who sadly passed away recently. Great little actor. If you haven't seen The Green Room, excellent film with Anton Yelchin. Yeah, he died when he was crushed by his own car. He was parked up on like a little hill, and it wouldn't stay in park, and came down the little hill when it crushed him. Very sad. Yep. 124. Crush the skull. Crush the skull. Yep. These two robbers are trying to rob this house, and they realize it's a torture house. Kind of reminded me. It's kind of like a cheap version of Don't Breathe. Uh, yeah. Then they realize this couple that runs the house kidnaps people and tortures them in the basement, and they're trying to basically escape with their lives. It's very, very low grade. 125, The Last Outlaw. This had 5,000 people in it. Mickey Rourke, Ted Devine, Steve Buscemi, Keith David, Dermot Mulroney, who keeps popping up in movies. He's everywhere. I think this is his third or fourth appearance. Uh, so Mickey Rourke leads this band of outlaws into town, and they rob the town. And then as they're leaving, the group kind of turns on them and leaves them for dead. Then the posse that's coming after the gang kind of brings on Mickey Rourke to help them track down the gang. And yeah, it's okay. For real big into westerns, it's watchable. But yeah, that's all we got this time. Upcoming, we got I just got in the new Jake Gyllenhaal movie, Stronger. So I'll be watching that. Then on Netflix, if you have Netflix, you know about this. When you watch a movie and you rate it well, they'll give you recommendations. If you like this, you'll love this. So I'm looking at these movies it's recommending, and there's 4 of them all lined up, and they all look exactly the same. Let me read these descriptions. This movie is called The Secret of Evil. Video footage depicting a supernatural encounter is all that remains of a filmmaker and his crew who disappear while exploring a haunted house. Okay, keep that in mind. Next movie is called The Strayed. An abandoned building seems like a perfect place to make a movie, but these students film only their own terror. Sounds familiar. Then there's Archivo 253. There's only one proven scientific way to confirm if this abandoned mental institution is haunted. Spend the night. Well, they're all filming themselves in haunted places. Then there's this movie called The Presence. They hope a secluded castle will provide a glimpse of the supernatural. They're going to get much more than a glimpse. So I will be watching all 4 of these films right in a row and reviewing them right on here, and we'll see if any of them are worth a damn. I'm keeping my standards low. Hopefully it will be finally in. Netflix needs to hurry the hell up and get that to me. But that's all we got for you. See you next time.